do this with more than about 6 to 8 people. So we'll just see how it goes. We might just form a little bit out of time, so Dillon and I will just try and keep track. So one of the most important things about today is to kind of connect with the team that you're sitting on. So we're just going to spend 5 minutes. You need to introduce yourselves to the people on the team. We were going to say introduce another person. There's too many of them. It's take us half an hour. We don't have that time. So maybe if you could just introduce yourselves in your team, kind of go through the stuff there, your name and role and your expectations for today. We'll keep it to 5 minutes. When 5 minutes is up, we'll just carry on. Okay, so get to know your teams because you're going to have to work with them for some projects now. Okay.
And just to give you guys context, this is like normally a 3-hour session, which we've had to condense into an hour and a half. So we're trying to keep the content light so that you guys can actually do the practical stuff. Okay.
Cool. So get to know each other. And the timer is here, and it'll crack when you're 5 minutes in. Okay. We can hear it.
My name's Brenna. I'm a product owner at a company called Giata. I work with products for product owners. I'm very interested in the interaction with teams. I'm trying to get my team to work as fluently as possible. I've got a disparity in parts of India and parts of America. Yeah, so I'm just hoping to get out of to help manage our communication with that.
Okay, so I'll quickly introduce Dillon. Dillon is an agile coach and consultant to Snippets.
Angie is a coach? Yeah, coach at Carnegie. Just recently moved as well.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool, so welcome to today's session. Thank you. You actually overwhelmed us. We didn't expect quite so many people. So let's just jump straight into it. So what is today's session about? So what is a vision? A vision is the overarching goal that kind of keeps teams together and focused in a company or on a particular product. So before we go on, I just want to know how many of you know the vision for the company that you work for. So if you could stand, if you know the vision for the company you work for. It would be easier if there were if you know the vision of the project or the product you are currently working on.
And what if you're not standing now and you do know that?
You can stand in if you know the vision for the project or product. So this would be applicable maybe to consultants that are consulting at another company. How many of you would feel comfortable explaining the vision for the projects or the products back to Exco? Considering they're paying for your projects, how many of you would actually stand in front of them and say, this is what we're building and we know it's in line with what your expectations are? Okay, so that's, what's that? So that's pretty awesome. So then I'm wondering why you're all here on a vision workshop. You all know what the vision is. So, okay, so let's just dive straight in. Okay, so we all know this clip from Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. And essentially it's where Alice meets the Cheshire cat and she says, will you tell me which way to go? And the cat says, well, it all depends on where you want to go. And she says, well, I don't really mind. And he says, and it doesn't matter which way you go. And we find with a lot of agile teams, they go through the motions of sprinting every sprint, but they don't necessarily have a goal. So they're sprinting, but they don't really know what they're trying to get to. Okay, so that's not a waterfall problem. It happens in waterfall, but it also happens in agile teams. So before we go on, I just want to sort of make the difference or show the difference between a mission and a vision. So very often people think it's the same thing, okay, but it's not. The mission is the means, it's how you're going to do something. The vision is the end. It's what you need to get to. It's that desired end state. So the mission gives the room to meander, whereas your vision tends to remain fairly constant. Okay, so what usually happens is companies need to move. Okay. So they've got a goal, they want to move from where they are now, which is an A. They want to move to B. So B is their vision. Okay. Everything that they do is mission, okay? But what you often find happening is the vision of the company is outside the mission. And that leads to conflicting priorities and people kind of pulling in different directions. And that's where you have people starting to push their own agendas in a team and on a project. So essentially what we want is we want the means to channel efforts towards the desired end state. And the only way that you can get there is by having a shared vision, which is what we're going to give you some techniques today to share the vision in your team and actually create that and make sure that everybody is on the same page.
So interesting enough, there was some guys who didn't know the organization vision, but they needed the project vision. I'm just curious how aligned that is. So even if you know both, how aligned are they? They're going in different directions. What is it that we're actually going?
So what Dillon said is very right. So you have a vision, but you're doing stuff, but it's not actually aligned to it. It's just a vision for that particular project or product, but it's not trying to achieve the overarching goal for the company. Okay, so what is a vision? So we've said it's the overarching goal. It should be galvanizing and guiding people towards a single shared objective. So a good vision should answer who's choosing and who's using. So who's actually buying the product and who's going to be using the product. Okay, what needs will it address? What value is it going to add? Okay, so are we just building this thing for the sake of building it, or are there actual reasons why customers want this in the first place? So what are the attributes critical for success? This is typically your standard entry criteria. So for a cell phone, it has to make phone calls. That's critical if it's a cell phone. If it only takes camera, like phone, like camera shots, it's a camera, it's not a phone. Okay, what are the unique selling points? So these are the things that the customer themselves probably didn't even know that they needed. Okay, so this is the reason why we typically build products in the first place, is we're trying to address the needs of the client. They don't even know that they had it. So a couple of years ago, Wi-Fi in hotels was like quite like fancy, you know. It wasn't at every hotel, and if you were at a hotel with Wi-Fi, like it was a 5-star. I mean, now if you don't have Wi-Fi, that's a problem. I mean, there's a problem here that Wi-Fi doesn't seem to reach everywhere, but they've at least got it. Okay, so that is no longer a unique selling proposition. It's actually a normal standard entry criteria for hotels. How are we going to make money? So either you are creating this product to make money or save money. Those are typically the two reasons that projects are initiated in the first place, otherwise nobody would be bothered. And is it feasible? So once we've actually built it and we've made it, is anybody even going to want to use it at all?
So maybe to touch on a bit in terms of kind of the reason why we're all here and the shared interest in terms of Agile and Scrum. Steve said something earlier that was quite interesting. He said teams start with the vision and then they move on to the delivery. Often what we see is that organizations realize that things aren't going so well, so they want to bring in a process to help that. And where they end up starting is actually at the delivery phase. And what you need to understand is you need to actually go back and understand what is the value, what is it that we're actually trying to deliver. So working with these teams and establishing a common goal, an understanding of where this team's going and what it is they wanting to deliver. Driving innovation, so with collaboration, with the guys working together, that's what encourages the creative side and the creative problem solving. Angie touched on this, ensure that you build the right things. It's really easy, and often we see this. Guys are delivering code left, right, and center. But is it actually what the client needs? Is it actually the right thing? Is it actually delivering value? And this enables us to create focus. So throughout the day, there's stuff that comes up, and often this detracts from what we're actually trying to do. So by having this vision, we allow ourselves to focus and understand that's actually what we're wanting to achieve. Telling a story and inspiring people. So part of creating this vision is creating the story. People remember stories. People can engage with stories. And that's what will inspire people. So who should create the vision? So earlier on, we asked about the organization vision, and I'm curious, within the organizations, who actually creates that vision? How shared is that vision? How aligned is that vision to maybe your own values and beliefs? So to answer this question, the reality is everybody should do that. Now, you're not going to be able to, well, it's going to be difficult in a large organization to get everybody involved. So what you're going to do is understand the organization's values and vision, and then as a team, work on and delivering and creating that vision. So there's a shared understanding. So, from a Scrum team point of view, these are some of the benefits that we can see. Reduce rework. So if we're understanding what it is we're wanting to deliver, we're spending less time delivering stuff, working on stuff that's not going to be of benefit to the client or add any value. It increases the collaboration. If we all know what we're working on, it means we can work together on achieving that. So often you see in teams, the guys want working together and they all on a tangent on their own. And then we have to reel them back in and kind of decide where actually we're going. We spoke about this, increase the outcome and the value. If we understand what the vision is and we understand we worked with, so we'll see today how we get together and understand the value that we're wanting to deliver. And that means any work that we put in is actually going to generate the value that we're looking for. Customer satisfaction, I mean, I think that's quite self-explanatory. Having the vision, you guys will see, as creating this vision, we take into account what the clients actually want, what the customers actually want. And then help with making decisions. So throughout a project, decisions have to be made. And these can be complicated and they maybe not the right information available. And if we have that vision and we know where we're going, that can assist us with making these decisions. Intrinsic motivators. So we all know that real motivations in terms of teams are the intrinsic stuff. So, we want the teams to have autonomy. How do we give them autonomy? Well, we need to tell them where they're going, and then they can figure out the how. So, these are all the things that can assist with the teams. And then self-organize. Again, if the teams know where they're going, they can organize themselves and figure out these solutions.
Okay, so now you guys get to decide on the product you're going to create today. It's going to be interesting. Your teams are really big. Like I said, we don't usually do it with teams bigger than 6 to 8 people. So let's see how it goes. But as a team in each of your groups, decide on the product that you're going to use for the practical exercises we're going to do. Because it starts getting a lot more practical and not so much theory. You've got 5 minutes to come up with your product vision or idea.
We know this is a challenge, guys. So
bear with us.
There you go.
What do you make it simple, maybe? Something I can make money on.
Actually, what we haven't told you guys is at the end of this we'll take all the ideas.
We need to find Peter.
That's an assumption.
Then say physical products, because it's software products.
He's written an awesome book on product ownership. If you haven't read it, it's a good read. This is freely available on his website, so you're welcome to go check it out. It's www.romanpicture.com. He writes an awesome blog as well, so if you're interested in that, very good guys to follow. So this is what the product vision board looks like. And essentially at the top, we have the vision statement, which is your overarching goal, which is going to guide your product. And you have your target market, so who wants to use it and who wants to buy it. You've got the needs, so why would they want to use it and why would they want to buy it in the first place? What are your key product features? And then in terms of value, why should we invest money? Okay, so this is an interesting one, and it's actually something we're not going to touch much on in this workshop, the value aspect, because that alone is probably a day's workshop, just to go in what is value to a company. You guys have just met each other, that would be an interesting discussion to have tonight. So we're going to focus on the other 3 aspects. So if you haven't already started doing it as part of your product discussion, quickly identify who your target market is and what their needs are. So probably as part of creating the product, you probably would have said something like, when you go to an expo and there was a something that came with it. So I did listen to you guys. So that's exactly, so you're wanting to know who is your target market and what are their needs. Okay, so before you build any product, those should be your 2 primary questions. Is there even a market for this thing in the first place, or do we assume that there is? Okay, so the product vision board helps you document all of your assumptions about your vision, which is why it's a really neat way to kind of represent it. So we'll give you another 5 minutes or less if we can.
Something I forgot to mention earlier on, 70% of software that gets developed is never used.
Well, I think it depends on who you ask. That statistic
I'm sticking to that. That's an awesome statistic. Sounds amazing.
Very deep. 90% of all stuff made up at the moment.
That's 70.3.
Statement part at the top of your product vision board. So what is the vision statement? Love this man. Great. So a vision statement should essentially be focusing people on something bigger than themselves. Okay? There needs to be a greater purpose. And that's what your vision statement should be delivering. So it should be shared and unifying. So it's something that all of us want to achieve. It's not a success if only I achieve it and you guys don't. We all need to buy into it. We all really need to be relentlessly pursuing that goal. Okay. There's a really great quote there, which is kind of summarizing what I've just said. Very often teams go in different paths because each has got their own motive for doing something. And in a team that's working on something in an agile way, it's completely destructive.
But guys, don't be under any illusion. This is not like unicorns and fairies at the bottom of the garden. Everybody is not going to necessarily agree with this. It's about having that discussion and coming up with a shared vision. So don't expect it to be, hey, that's cool.
Yeah, and everybody completely buys into it. There will still be hard discussions. It needs to be broad and engaging. So it needs to inspire, needs to give you direction, but you still need the room to wonder to get there. Okay, so you might decide on one way of building a product, and very quickly after feedback and you release something, you decide to change it. Usually your overarching goal doesn't. How you get there changes. But there's still this product, there's a product in mind that should kind of keep it going in the right direction. It should be short and sweet. So this is a vision statement. It needs to be short and sweet. And it needs to be clear and visible to everybody in your team. So whatever your vision is, it should be up on walls, it should be very clear. Everybody in your team should see it all the time. Okay, very often your vision statement is hidden somewhere in a, I don't know if it's a company vision statement, it's hidden in a document somewhere. If it's a project vision statement, it's hidden in some kind of document, but it's not necessarily clearly visible to everyone. So these are some ideas of vision statements. They've actually been voted as some of the best ones. These are company vision statements, not necessarily a product vision statement. This is an old one for Google, and you can see that they almost become like a marketing slogan or a tagline. Okay, and that's okay. When it's a company's vision statement, it can be used in marketing, but the same thing applies to your products. You are always building products. Even if it is a project that you're working on, you're building something of value to someone. Okay, so you need to always keep that in mind. So these ones are pretty cool, to provide access to the world's information in one click. Do you think Google did that? Do you think that was a pretty cool vision statement? Biobag, we don't have this here. Changing the world without changing the earth. Biobag is a biodegradable plastic packet that they have in the States. So we don't have that. That's pretty cool. Changing the world without changing the earth. That summarizes that quite well. Toys R Us, this is ours. I wish ours had such an awesome vision. This is in the States. So our vision is to put joy in kids' hearts and a smile on parents' faces.
And a dent in the wallet.
So this is a very long one. Who does CrossFit? Or who at least knows what CrossFit is? Okay, so a couple of people. So you guys will know that Reebok is a sponsor of CrossFit. And if you actually read through that vision statement, it very much aligns with why they decided to partner with CrossFit in the first place. It's talking about helping people fulfill their true potential and reach out to their full unreachable. If you're a CrossFitter, you know that that is what it encompasses and that is what it drives. So it's a very fitting statement for Reebok because they partner with CrossFit. This one is an old one, Microsoft in the 1970s. So a computer on every desktop in every home. So you might not have a Microsoft computer on your desktop at home, but how many of you don't have Microsoft products on your desktop at home or on your laptop? So considering that was in the 1970s, that's a pretty cool vision. I think they've achieved that. Their vision is now very different. Okay. Apple computers, also in the 1970s. Computer in the hands of everyday people. And I mean, pretty much all of us have got a computer in our hands. So when you look at a vision statement and actually what it does, that's what it's meant to do. It's meant to give you that vision of where you're wanting to go to in the future. And those kind of sum it up quite well. So the other way of doing a vision statement is an elevator pitch, which most of you guys know, an elevator pitch. So it became very popular in the .com era where people wanted products, they wanted their products, they needed funding. They'd go to some kind of investment bank or venture capitalist and they'd have to pitch their products. But it would have to be short, compelling, unique. Because chances are they only had the average elevator ride to pitch their idea. And if they didn't convey that information quickly enough, they didn't get another chance. So an elevator pitch is, again, it's a good way of explaining a vision. So this is quite a cool way of doing that. So you can ask a question. So do you know how millions of people search Google every day using keywords to find what they're looking for? Hopefully the person says yes, they know what Google is. And then you say what it is you do. Well, what I do is help business owners get their website ranked in the top position on Google for keywords people would use to find their business online. And then you say what the main benefit is. So we help them increase revenue by bringing targeted leads directly to them.
So Angie was mentioning earlier on about it doesn't have to be a product, it can be a project. I was speaking to somebody last night, and they're actually like an operational services. They provide support, and they were curious how this could be applied. And if you look at something like this, you can see how that can fit in. I mean, what is our vision? So a vision could be to offer #1 rated service within the organization. Now, that's a bit fluffy. We don't know exactly what that means, so you could flesh it out. So it doesn't have to be a product. It doesn't even have to be a project. It can be services.
It's like everything you do is for someone else's benefit. You're not just doing something just for the sake of it. Is it all costing someone money? Okay. Okay, so you now get to craft a vision statement for your product. So you can use any format. We've shown you what a vision statement looks like, and you've also got your elevator pitch. There's also another technique you can use, which is more this product vision model. We decided not to cover it because we suspect we're going to run out of time. So maybe come up with a vision statement, and let's see how you guys do. So we might give you a little bit less than 10 minutes if everybody finishes earlier than that. But it's harder than it appears to kind of encapsulate the vision for your product in one sentence or less. Okay. Don't worry, you'll have more time to continue working on your vision. You're going to have a lot of time now.
So we say that, and you're not. It's just a false sense of security.
You'll have time to complete it. Don't worry if you haven't finished. Okay, so what we're going to move on to now is a vision box. Okay, so you guys have been wondering what all the cool stuff is apart from that table that has no good stuff. We're going to use that stuff now to actually create a vision box. So, you know, when you're walking through a supermarket, and we got this one from the hotel because I left my normal box at home, and you always have your product name. You've always got some kind of feature, like evidently this one is same amount of cereal, new box size. Like, I don't know what that means. I'm assuming it's a smaller box. Okay. So apparently it's a feature. Okay. There's also some stuff down here on the side, like nutritional information. On a normal product box, you've got operational requirements and stuff like that. Okay. So when you're walking through a supermarket, apparently this is going to attract your attention. It's got a nice visual, got some wheat. Okay. So when we're creating a vision box, it's exactly what we're trying to do. And how you play it. So this was actually created by Bill Shackelford, this technique, and it's very good. It's also used in marketing, if any of you have ever done it in marketing. So they do the same thing, where they actually get customers in and customers create the products. Okay, they actually put the package together and everything else. So what you're wanting to do is you want to pick a name. You've already discussed who's choosing and who's using. And you're going to say, what is the product? So this is now where you start discussing the key features. And you make the box. So you put your tagline or slogan, so your vision statement that you just put on, that you just decided on, short enough to put in a box and use it. You're going to discuss the component features and the benefits. Okay, and you're going to keep your terminology focused on your client. Okay, because when you're building a product and you're creating a product vision, it's not for you only. Yes, you need that vision to guide and direction, but you're delivering it to an end user. You've got to keep them in mind the entire time. Okay, and you're then going to sell the box. So it's going to be interesting. We're going to time box you later to 2 minutes per team, selling the box back to the rest of the class. And it's an important thing to do because in a normal product, in a normal vision box exercise, you do have big teams. Okay, so you usually have a size group of this many people, but you would keep the teams to about 6 to 8, which is why we are worried about such big groups, because it doesn't facilitate the collaboration and the communication. You guys have done well, so thank you for that. But usually in a normal environment, you would want 6 to 8 people collaborating on one box. Each team sells it back to the rest of the team, and then you collaborate again and you come up with a unified vision. Okay, and that's the important part. So you can scale this exercise if you're all working on the same product, but you guys will still sell back to everybody else. Okay, so one thing you'll notice is these boxes aren't, that they're not massive. they actually should be about half the size of that. The reason why is you want to limit the features that you've got on there. Okay, it's very easy to list 20 features that our product has, and it's harder to list 3. Okay, so what we're going to do is you're going to come up with your product name, do some sort of graphic. That's why you guys have got lots of cool stuff you can use and fiddle around with and make little Play-Doh people or whatever. You're going to include your vision statement. You're going to put some operating requirements on because we all build software. I mean, that's why we're here. That's why we're at a Scrum Alliance gathering. So you want to put on operating features on the back, that kind of information that would be useful. So if you were building something that would only be, so if you were building an app and it was only an Apple app, okay, that's the kind of thing you'd put in there. Then you'd know as a team that you're not looking at something that's going to go on the Play Store. Okay. So you're going to have half an hour to do this. Remember to focus on the product features and how you're going to build it, what it's going to look like, the compelling, the unique selling points. And that's what this exercise is meant to do. It's meant to further facilitate the discussions you've already had. But while you're doing that, don't forget to work on how you're going to do your sales pitch because you're going to sell it back to the other teams. How you do that is up to you. We've had teams that do skits, okay, whereas an entire team, they actually do a skit to sell their product.
So that's kind of where the benchmark is. Anything under that, it's just like.
We've also had people where one person nominates and then the other side. It's completely up to you guys. Okay.
And choose the sessions that you want to attend. Sign up to them.
Okay, you guys have all probably planned your dream holiday before with the family, and you know you don't want to. You don't want to start your dream vacation. You don't want to start your dream vacation with a dream nightmare. You want to go somewhere, but after a long flight, with a long flight to Dubai, you want something to entertain your kids there. And that's why we have Dubai Airport Fun Park. Come, Sissy, stop. Sissy. Sissy, stop. Dubai Airport Fun Park gives your kids something to do while you relax after a long flight.
Some of the vision statements, saving lives, you know, entertaining the kids, that kind of thing. I mean, when you're building products for your current companies, do you look at them from that perspective? Are you saving lives? Are you making parents happy at airports? So that's really the power of having something like a vision box, okay? It makes you look at the ultimate people who are going to be using it and the purpose for your products, okay? It's not just about making money. There's always something else. Okay, making money is great, but that's not the only thing. Okay, so what you've just done by identifying the key features is you've just completed that last part there on the product vision board. Okay, so you've gone through the whole exercise of coming up with the vision statement, identifying the target users and the needs and the key product features. Okay, as we said, value, I wish we could go through it, but the reality is we would be here for another day because that's, again, it's a topic I love discussing. So we're going to just kind of wrap up now. I'm sure everybody wants to get to lunch. If you can just bear with me. This is a very, very short video, and I'll just give you a little bit of an introduction to it. This guy went to Bali on holiday. He is an underwater photographer. He had done some photo shoots in pools. He didn't have his open water diver's license. But when he got there, he had a vision. Okay. But he hadn't done anything yet. It was only once he actually arrived in Bali that he realized he wanted to do this. So I'm going to show you what he did, and then we'll have a quick discussion afterwards.
Hey guys, this is Benjamin Bonwell, Montreal-based photographer, and I'm here today in Bali shooting at a shipwreck with a bunch of freedivers. It's going to be quite exciting. Check it out. Shooting underwater, I think, is every bit as challenging as I had remembered it to be. Everything is complicated, everything is slow. And in an actual location environment as opposed to being in a swimming pool. The reason this all worked out is that we had an experienced and dedicated team that were available to make this project possible. That's so fun about working with passionate individuals. These people are dedicated just as much as I am to getting those shots and making sure that these pictures happen. That's really the magical part of a shoot like this. And yes, the shots are phenomenal. I mean, we have some amazing things, and that's the joy of shooting underwater, is that you have these completely ethereal things. And that's really what's so magical. I mean, just even imagining the shots being placed, these 3 scuba divers escorting a model in a beautiful white dress with flowing hair, going through this shipwreck, that in itself was just a shot with story, and that's so absolutely magical. So you can just imagine what it was like capturing these shots and framing them with the story of the shipwreck. For me, it was really fun. Seeing the pictures actually just coming up on the screen, and you never really know. You're underwater, you're looking at that dinky display, and you're hoping that the shots are coming out and they're in focus. But then actually being able to put them onto the computer with everyone watching, so all the pressure's on you, and seeing these shots slowly come to life as you play with the contrast and you tweak up the white balance and you bring some life back into the images, making them look like what they look like in your mind, is absolutely magical. I have learned over time that the people you want to work with to achieve the best results are not the most qualified professionals or the ones with the best credentials or the most experience, but it is the people that have the most passion and that really want to be involved. If you work with individuals who are as passionate as you are about success, then you can't fail. You can only succeed.
How much passion did you guys generate doing this exercise? I mean, did you guys have buy-in? Did this mean something to you? And that's what you kind of want to generate.
Okay, so it's not about having the most experienced people. Okay. So that pretty much wraps up. Sorry we ran a little bit over.
Just quickly, some of you said that you know your vision, you know the project or the project's vision. When you go back to the office, try something. Go up to one of your colleagues and ask them to explain to you what they believe the project vision is. And compare that. And I'll be interested to see what those 2 stories are.
Okay guys,